Hello, and welcome again to Fox Comics and Games in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. And we are unpacking this week's comic book order. These items will go on sale Wednesday, January 16th. And we're starting off today with a beautiful signed Brian Michael Bendis Superman #1. And I believe if you check out the authentication, it looks like there's 630 of them he signed. So we have several of those and some other options of some Brian Michael Bendis autographed comics as well. Next up, we have some of the presents that have come in from Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie Boogie and Pumpkin King. And then we've got some Saga pins, some Aquaman and other DC keychains, and then some of the manga that came in, Sweetness and Lightning issue 11, and then from Saban's Power Rangers, Soul of the Dragon, which is Jason David Frank's, the story of Jason David Frank's Green Ranger's last hurrah. So that's what is out this week in terms of non-comic stuff that came in. And we'll start off this week with Action Labs' Albert Einstein Time Mason. And this is issue 4. It's been kind of an interesting run, and people have been enjoying it. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man #13, and kind of a cool look to it. The variant cover to that, if you can make sense of that, please do. Next up from Marvel, issue 5 of As Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. And then, next up from Dark Horse Comics, a very highly anticipated comic here in our store, Avatar. Issue 1, and gorgeous cover on it, as is the variant cover. Very, very nice. We have several of the variants as well. Aftershock Comics is up next. We have issue 14 of Baby Teeth. Donny Cates, he's been doing some of the Venom run here recently for Marvel. So as you can imagine, good book, good story. And then next up from DC, we have issue 2 out of 6 of The Batman Who Laughs, and that is fantastic so far. So we're hoping Scott Snyder won't lead us down the wrong path. And as you can see, beautiful variant cover, which on most weeks would have been our cover of the week, but it's just one of the runners up this week. So it's in our top 5, but it's not the cover of the week. Then from Dynamite Publishing, we have Battlestar Galactica, issue 3, for those of you so inclined. Also from Boom Studios, we have issue 6 of Black Badge, kind of dark tale of scouting. Next up from Marvel, we have Black Panther, issue 8, and beautiful variant cover for that as well. And then we have another highly anticipated title. Hoping that they do a good job with this. They're relaunching Black Widow, and it is Black Widow #1. And so that looks to be interesting as well. Next up from Image Publishing, we have issue 5 of Burnouts. And then from Ahoy Comics, one of our growing favorite comic companies, we have issue 4 of Captain Ginger, and usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays you can find Captain Ginger down in our gaming store, but that's Captain Ginger. Then next up from DC, we have issue 7 of highly recommended Catwoman. Joelle Jones is just killing it on this run of Catwoman. I think it's going to be like a 12-shot total or something if I'm not mistaken, but she has been phenomenal, doing great work on the art as well. And as you can see, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful variant cover, as always. Next up from Marvel, we have Jason Aaron's take on Conan the Barbarian, issue 2. The first issue was surprisingly good, and very delightfully so. And the variant cover looks pretty Conan-esque, pretty badass. Next up from Aftershock Comics, a very good Cullen Bunn tale, Dark Ark, and this is issue 13, which bodes ill for all of us reading that. the unlucky 13, but a great story so far. Next up, and on television currently, we have Rick Remender for Image Publishing. We have Rick Remender writing issue 36 of his Deadly Class, which has become a show on television right now and seems to be doing rather well, so that's exciting. DC Comics brings us issue 996 of Batman Detective Comics, only 4 away from the magic 1000. And as always, a beautiful, beautiful variant cover. Also from DC, we have up next issue 3 of Electric Warriors. And then from Dynamite Publishing, we have issue 4 of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And as we always do, we carry the variant covers, and as you can see, really lovely shot of Elvira's personality. And then next up we have from Boom Studios, Firefly, written by Greg Pak, obviously based on Joss Whedon's Firefly, but that is issue 3, and that's been going over really well here in the store as well. And the beautiful variant cover for Firefly in issue 3. Then up next from DC, we have issue 62 of Flash. And as they always do, and as I always mention, the beautiful Flash variant covers are here at Fox's as well. Then from Image Publishing, a great story by Jeff Lemire, a great book, Gideon Falls, issue 10. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Then next up from Vertigo Publishing, a book that was really well received here in our shop, Goddess Mode. This is issue 2. Really nice book. DC is up next and has issue 8 of Hawkman, releasing tomorrow. And again, from Vertigo Publishing, we have issue 5 of Sandman Universe House of Whispers. And then from Marvel, we have issue 11 of Immortal Hulk. Great looking cover there. And then the oddly, again, bizarrely themed Immortal Hulk issue 11 variant cover. Then up from Marvel, issue 2 of Ironheart. I think Mr. Fox took her to prom, if I remember properly, but that's another story for another day. Then from Image Publishing, we have, I believe it is issue 6, if I'm not mistaken, of Isola. Great book, great read. And then we also have from Image Publishing, Isola Prologue. So that must be finishing Isola and then the prologue. Next up from Dynamite Publishing, we have issue 5 of James Bond Origin. Pretty self-descriptive there. DC brings us Justice League Dark, issue 7. Great looking art on that. But not as great as the variant cover for Justice League Dark, issue 7, in our top 5. So if you're the cover artist on that, you will be getting your prize in the mail from Fox's. Then next up from Marvel, another one of our top 5 covers of the week is Marvel Tales featuring Venom, and that is issue 1 of that. Very, very intriguing looking book and great cover. Next up from Image Publishing is issue 3 of Scotty Young's Middle West. Gorgeous book, obviously in the top 5 covers of the week, as Scotty Young pretty much lives in our top 5. But a great story, great book. Everything about that is wonderful. Buy it. If you're not, you're stupid. Then next up from Image, we have issue 6 of Outpost Zero. Then from DC, issue 30 of Red Hood Outlaw. Not Ann the Outlaws, just Red Hood Outlaw. And as always, beautiful DC variant cover for Red Hood Outlaw, issue 30. Next up from Marvel, we have Return of Wolverine, issue 4. Pretty wicked looking cover there. And then the variant cover for Return of Wolverine issue 4. And again, blades longer than his forearms. Marvel, can you not figure that out? Next up from Titan Comics, we have issue 16 of Robotech. And then from DC, we have Scooby Apocalypse issue 33, a reimagining of the Scooby-Doo universe. Valiant Publishing, which if you're not reading Valiant, you need to be. Valiant Publishing brings us issue 11 of Shadow Man. Many times been spotted in the upstairs window at Fox Comics and Games here in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. Next up from IDW, we have issue 12 of Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Mrs. Fox went to prom with him. And then next up from Image, we have Spawn Kills Everyone 2, and this is issue 2. So kind of a double-edged sword there. That's the standard cover, and then the variant is gorgeous. And then, of course, another variant that is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Next up from Marvel, we have Spider-Man Deadpool issue 44. Spider-Man hangs out with Deadpool because that Deadpool, he funny. Then next up from IDW, issue 4 of Star Trek versus Transformers. I don't even think we need to explain that any further than that. It pretty much describes itself. Next up from Marvel, we have Star Wars Age of the Republic Special, issue 1. And nice looking variant on that as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Next up from DC, we have issue 50 of Suicide Squad. And another one of our top 5 covers of the week, the Suicide Squad issue 50 variant cover. Gorgeous, well done. Nice work, DC. Also from DC, issue 26 of Supergirl. And presenting the cover of the week for Fox Comics and Games, issue 26 of Supergirl variant. Even the cat has a cape. If that doesn't win cover of the week, I don't know what does. So, plus the cat's what? A ginger. So right there, soft spot in Mr. Fox's heart for the ginger. Probably hire that cat on Tuesdays and Thursdays to work in the gaming store. Next up from DC, we have issue 7 of Brian Michael Bendis' Superman. Has been very strong. Mr. Fox is not known as a Superman reader, but I've enjoyed Brian Michael Bendis' run very much so. And the beautiful cover of the variant for issue 7 of Superman, again in our top 5. Next up, also from DC, issue 33 of Titans. And the beautiful Titans 33 variant cover right there. IDW has a one-shot for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW 2020 Daniel. It's a one-shot. Enjoy it. We've got plenty. Marvel is up next with Uncanny X-Men number 8. Marvel is also up next with Venom issue 10. Beautiful cover on that, as is the variant cover. Pretty wicked, wicked, wicked. And also another kind of oddly confusing variant cover for Venom issue 10. Aftershock is up next, Aftershock Comics, with Garth Ennis, which if you've read The Preacher or any of other Garth Ennis's books, you've loved them, so you need to be getting yourself some of this as well. It's fantastic. A Walk Through Hell by Garth Ennis. Just absolutely wonderful. Also from Image Publishing, issue 3 of The Warning. Read it or else. See what I did there. All right. Then we have from Absolute Comic Groups, we have issue 1 of one of their new releases, The White Widow. And as you can see, some nice foil content there on the White Widow, which immediately made Mr. Fox order it, as did the variant cover Has some red foil all over it. And she advertises, "I make boys cry," so I think that's kind of cool. And then from Image Publishing, we have issue 41 of Kieran Gillen's Wicked and Divine. And then last, but certainly not least, issue 62 from DC of Mr. Fox's, one of Mr. Fox's favorites, Wonder Woman. And I was a little let down, did not make the top 5 this week, but still a kind of cool cover of Wonder Woman 62 variant cover. That looks like it for this order this week. They go on sale Wednesday, January 16th. Hope to see you at beautiful Fox Comics and Games in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois.